Ever wondered how a marriage can be declared void from the very beginning? Let's dive into the landmark Philippine Supreme Court case of Tan-Andal versus Annul, a case that completely changed the rules for declaring a marriage void due to psychological incapacity. Meet Rosanna and Mario. They got married in 1995 and had a daughter, Maria Samantha. But their life together was far from a fairy tale. Mario had a severe drug problem, something Rosanna knew about even before they tied the knot. Mario promised he could quit any time, but that promise was never kept. He was jobless, couldn't support his family, and was absent even when his own child was sick. Rosanna tried everything, even committing him to a rehab center, but he always relapsed. Finally, after 5 years of a tumultuous marriage, they separated. Rosanna filed a petition to nullify their marriage. Her reason? Mario's psychological incapacity. She argued that his drug addiction was a sign of a deep-seated personality disorder that made it impossible for him to fulfill his duties as a husband and father. To back this up, she brought in a psychiatrist, Dr. Garcia, as an expert witness. After interviewing Rosanna, their daughter, and Rosanna's sister, Dr. Garcia diagnosed Mario with narcissistic antisocial personality disorder. She concluded his condition was grave, incurable, and had existed even before the marriage. But there was a catch. Dr. Garcia admitted she never actually interviewed Mario himself. He had ignored all her invitations. The lower court initially sided with Rosanna and voided the marriage. However, the Court of Appeals overturned this decision, calling Dr. Garcia's evaluation unscientific and unreliable because it was based only on secondhand information from Rosanna's side. So the big question went all the way to the Supreme Court. Was Mario truly psychologically incapacitated? The Supreme Court's decision was groundbreaking. They declared the marriage void. More importantly, they used this case to revisit and redefine the very concept of psychological incapacity, making it more accessible and realistic for everyone. First, the court clarified the level of proof needed. In the past, it was a bit vague. Now, the court says you need clear and convincing evidence. This is more than what is usually needed in civil cases, but less than the beyond a reasonable doubt standard in criminal cases. Why? Because marriage is presumed to be valid, and you need strong evidence to overcome that presumption. Next, and this is the biggest change, the court abandoned the old rule that required a medical or clinical diagnosis of a personality disorder. They said psychological is not the same as mental. Psychological incapacity isn't a mental illness you'd find in a medical textbook. The focus shouldn't be on a specific diagnosis from a psychiatrist. Expert testimony is no longer a strict requirement. Instead, what needs to be proven is the person's personality structure. This refers to the durable and enduring aspects of their personality. You have to show that this personality structure makes it impossible for them to understand and comply their essential marital obligations. And you can prove this through the testimonies of ordinary people, friends, family, anyone who has witnessed the person's behavior over time. The court also clarified the meaning of juridical antecedents, incurability, and gravity. Juridical antecedents means the incapacity must have existed at the time of the wedding, even if it only became obvious later. Incurability isn't medical, it's legal.
Wow.
It means the incompatibility between the couple's personalities is so severe that the marriage is doomed to fail no matter what. And gravity means we're not talking about minor flaws or occasional emotional outbursts. It must be a genuine, deep-seated incapacity, not just a refusal or neglect to be a good spouse. Applying these new rules to the case, the Supreme Court found that Rosanna had provided clear and convincing evidence of Mario's psychological incapacity. His consistent behavior before and during the marriage demonstrated a personality structure that rendered him incapable of being a husband and father. The testimonies showed a pattern of irresponsibility, drug dependence, and an inability to care for his family, proving his incapacity was grave, incurable, and present from the start. The Tan-Andal case is a huge step forward, makes the ground of psychological incapacity a more humane and practical legal remedy, focusing on the real-life experiences and dysfunctions within a marriage rather than rigid medical definitions. It acknowledges that some unions are simply not meant to be, based on the fundamental personalities of the people involved. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more legal insights. See you in the next video.